Family Guy foreshadowing. So I did a video on the Simpsons and how often they foreshadow future events. Family Guy's up there with the Simpsons. It's hard for me to do this because I grew up loving Family Guy. I had every box set, watched every episode, found it hilarious. It still is funny to an extent, but I just don't watch TV anymore. It just frustrates me now. So I'm going to give you some examples of how Family Guy foreshadowed future events. So Family Guy is made up of multiple characters, but the main family is the Griffins. So you've got Peter Griffin, Lois Griffin, and then you've got the daughter Meg, the eldest son Chris, and then you've got the baby, which is Stewie, extremely intelligent and a bit devilish, sadistic. And then you've got the dog, Brian, again, very, very intelligent, likes to drink his martinis. And you've got all these other characters who are not major ones, but I'd say Quagmire's pretty big, Joe, Cleveland. The rest of them, not so much. So Family Guy, it's an American animated sitcom created by Seth MacFarlane for the Fox Broadcasting Company. Remember Fox? I've discussed how satanic that is in many videos, in the Pythagorean numerology, how Fox equates to 666. So it's no shock that Family Guy, a very sadistic show, airs on that particular channel. So it premiered on January the 31st, 1999, right after the Super Bowl. And the series is produced by Fuzzy Door Productions and 20th Television. So basically, you've got Peter Griffin and his family of two teenagers, a smart dog, a devilish baby, and his wife find themselves in some of the most hilarious scenarios. And they do, and it is funny. There's no denying it. But it's sadistic as well. And the program creator is Seth MacFarlane, who's clearly, say it after me, is clearly a massive Jesuit. So here's some of the things that they foreshadowed. They foreshadowed the Bruce Jenner transition into Caitlyn. It's funny how this here looks a lot like an M, like Masonic. So they called this. So in 2015, Family Guy predicted that Bruce Jenner, an apparent model of male masculinity and Olympic gold medal winner of the men's decathlon, would make a transition to female. Later in the same year, and out of nowhere, Bruce became Caitlyn. I remember hearing that news. I was like, what? Family Guy knew it was going to happen. Kevin Spacey's underage sexual misconduct allegations. So here's Stewie, the little baby running around the mall naked. So during a season 4 Family Guy episode back in 2005, there is a scene in which baby Stewie is seen running naked through a shopping mall. He is terrified. He screams, "Help! I've escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement." 12 years later, actor Anthony Rapp accused Spacey of making inappropriate sexual advances towards him in 1986 when he was just 14 years old. So again, the whole thing with Kevin Spacey, they foreshadowed it. The Boston Marathon bombing, this is disgusting and highly disturbing. So during a Family Guy episode that aired on March 17, 2013, less than 1 month before the attack actually happened, the hit show accidentally foreshadowed the events. Peter Griffin wins the Boston Marathon after taking out several runners with his car. Later, Peter Griffin converts to Islam, and it isn't until the next episode that Peter realizes he's joined a terrorist organization. Rings a bell, doesn't it? When he calls to confirm, he accidentally, they love that word, accidentally and coincidentally, triggers 2 separate bombs. And like I said, less than 1 month later, the Boston bombings occurred. Wonder who was behind that. I found this image. It says, "Did you know this Family Guy episode aired a month before the Boston Marathon bombing?" So here's Peter here in his red car, killing all these people at the Boston Marathon. And then Peter remotely detonates 2 bombs. This is all before it happened. But it's all a coincidence. Paul Walker's car crash. Here's Brian the dog. So in a season 12 episode, Family Guy shocked audiences when they took out one of the most prominent characters in the show, Brian Griffin. In the episode, the family dog had been struck by a car and succumbed to his injuries. Just 1 week later, actor Paul Walker was in a fatal fiery car crash. The connection here can be a little hard to discern at first glance, but Walker's character's name in the Fast and Furious franchise was Brian. The correlation between the two is that Walker's character from the Fast and Furious series of films was named Brian O'Connor. I know that because I actually watched all of the Fast and Furious movies, unfortunately. When Brian Griffin unexpectedly passed in a tragic car accident, and so shortly after the actor who portrays Brian in the beloved franchise passes away in a very similar way. Guys, it's no wonder the connections have been made. A week and a half later, Paul Walker, who played Brian O'Connor, died in a car crash. A very suspicious one. And how ironic the guy who was one of the main characters in Fast and Furious dies in a car crash. Makes you think. And then Robin Williams, aka Melinda Gates, taking his own life. Robin Williams taking his own life. While not as spot on as some of the other predictions, there's still spooky overlap between Family Guy and reality in this season 10 episode. So this episode was broken into shorts, including Fat Man and Robin. Again, funny name, good play on words. Peter Griffin, Fat Man, Robin Williams. In which Peter is cursed by having everything and everyone he touches turn into Robin Williams. Peter becomes so crazed by the constant appearance of the comedian that he attempts to take his life many times. And then the BBC shows the episode of Fat Man and Robin a few minutes before it is announced that Robin Williams had committed suicide. Guys, these animated shows foreshadow events. They're run by the Jesuit Order, The Simpsons, Family Guy, even SpongeBob, American Dad. The list goes on. They do it in animation, so you don't process what they're actually doing. For some reason, they foreshadow it. If a couple of guys came out, regular guys came out and said, this was going to happen in the Boston Marathon, and a month later it happened, what would you think? What would you think? Who in the world would have predicted that this really masculine guy, who was the winner of the men's decathlon, probably the most challenging event in the Olympics, would become a woman? Well, Family Guy were able to do it. Because Bruce Jenner's a massive Jesuit, like all of the Kardashians and Jenners. Why do you think they are where they are with so much fame and fortune? Kim, Khloe, Kourtney, witches. They are witches. Pretty much any guy who gets with them, tragic things happen to them. Look at Lamar Odom. Look at Kanye. The list goes on with them. They are witches, the three witches. So anyway, you got Family Guy, another animated show foreshadowing future events that people dismiss as coincidences. Well, they're not coincidences, okay? Seems to me that all you see is predictive programming on your TV.